Thanks for jumping on our demo today. We're going to talk about how we've been working closely with professional service customers and how we have a good understanding of where Google Apps can really add value to their business. This presentation is two parts, consisting of a short presentation, then a live demo of Google Apps tailored for the professional service industry by my friend and colleague, Gori. So let's jump straight on in. As consumers, we've embraced the way in which the web allows us to do more, faster, and with more people. In fact, this has changed how our expectations around how we find things, purchase things, as well as how we interact with our peers. Let me give you some examples. When we search the web, we expect to find the right information within milliseconds. And that includes the fact that Google does billions of searches every day, but doesn't change our expectations on how fast we expect that data to come to us. Secondly, buying on the web, we can order millions of items that can be delivered to our door the next day, as well as professional services, things like accounting, consulting, as well as disaster relief, that we can search on the web and actually get the services that day to help us with our issues. This is a new generation of consumers. They're using social media to get product advice from peers, digital tools like smartphones, tablets, and apps. And consumer behavior has changed as well. It's become totally global. When we're looking for a new set of services, we look for reviews in particular companies. With our heritage in consumer technology, we are very close to the dynamics shaping consumer behavior and how consumers are seeking out professional services today in the marketplace. One only needs to take a look at Boost New Media. Founded in 2000, Boost produces websites, applications, and anything to do with the web for a far-reaching range of clients all the way to New Zealand, here in Australia, and throughout Asia as well. They had some objectives that they wanted to accomplish. First and foremost, they wanted to reduce the cost associated with administering a bunch of online accounts. Secondly, they wanted to better reflect their professionalism required by their particular high-tech service provider. And thirdly, they needed a reliably and efficient way to manage large amounts of data. Well, what did Boost do? They launched Google Apps to integrate with their data flows for employees and staff. They were able to significantly increase productivity with Gmail and built-in instant messaging, chat, and calendaring. So when their employees were off-site working with customers, they were able still to be closely tied to home base. Thirdly, they were able to prominently display the Google Calendar in-house to clarify and communicate any schedules that were needed when scheduling for professional services. Ultimately, they were able to dramatically reduce costs, save on hardware, IT time, and service upkeep. They were able to accurately and reliably access the right data when they needed it, and it freed time for their end users to do strategic work by minimizing management, downtime, and productivity interruptions. Consumer behavior has changed as well. People are doing things together. For example, when we're looking for online reviews on a professional service that we may need, a lot of times we go on the web and see what other peers have said about them. Let's take a closer look at Australia's leading consumer advocacy group. Choice. Choice is funded by consumers for consumers. It's a trusted and independent voice working for Australians. Choice campaigns to protect and assist consumers through changes to laws and industry practices. The company's fair and unbiased reporting and testing of products and services help consumers find the right products for their particular needs and budgets. What they were looking to do was a few things. First and foremost, they wanted a user-friendly system for communication and collaboration among employees. Secondly, they wanted to make it easier for employees to work anytime, anywhere, especially when they were meeting with customers on site. They wanted to reduce their IT complexity and cut costs related to the communication and collaboration needs. Well, they were able to do something really great here. They were able to standardize the entire business on Google Apps. They were able to use Google Calendar for scheduling, collaborate on multiple projects using Google Docs, and they moved their entire intranet to Google Sites. By moving to Google Apps, like many of our other professional service customers, they increased productivity through easy-to-use tools, provided anywhere, anytime access for staff, reduced overhead IT and complexity, and they're able to cut their capital expenses because we aren't having to reinvest in new hardware every few years. Well, let's take a look back in time over the last 30 years of business IT. Over the past 30 years, this is what IT looked like. It was based on individual productivity, or one person using one application to produce one document. It required working from a physical office, at set working hours, and using a corporate device at the physical office. But that was so 30 years ago. Today, we see that businesses need a lot more to be successful. The reality is today, we need new design principles. These ones are built into Google Apps. We need team productivity, not individual productivity, to get things done. The days of one person using one application to produce one document and then saving that multiple times with multiple versions to pass it around the organization is over. Today, we need a team of people to collaborate and contribute on documents and presentations and easily schedule calendars in real time and do it quickly. We now expect to be able to work from any place instead of being forced to physically go to the office to be productive. No longer do we have 9 to 5. We have worlds outside the office, such as taking our kids to a badminton practice or even a footy game. You can still respond to email anywhere in the world. I could be in the back of a taxi cab in Taiwan or at the beach on a beautiful day like today and still do my job without actually having to go to the physical office. Anytime means no more 9 to 5. Today, it's expected that people answer emails at all hours of the night. With increasing globalization, you're working with people in different time zones. So to be successful, you have to be able to migrate past the 9 to 5. Any device for the above design principles to work effectively requires that we access that information on any device that we own, whether that's a tablet, an iPhone, even a Windows-based phone, or an Android device. As long as you have a web browser and internet access, your information is accessible anywhere in the world. Well, how do we get there? Today we have a new model for IT. The buzzword has become the cloud. I hear things of the public cloud, the private cloud, the hybrid cloud. I don't even know what this cloud concept really means anymore because it's become so confusing. Well, let's simplify it. The cloud means having an easy way to share, collaborate, and access important data that is stored over the internet and accessed via a unique username and password. Google's cloud infrastructure is 100% web-based. In a 100% web-based world, you no longer need to own or manage the hardware on-premise or client software. That's what the true cloud means. So no longer do you have Upgrade Tuesdays or refresh hardware every 3 years. Applications are delivered by the web and all you need is a web browser. There's no maintenance, no upgrades, no patches, no version control, and no hardware refreshes. Everything is just on the web. It's just like internet banking. You're always on the latest and greatest version and in the most secure place possible. So now that we've explored how consumer web has changed everyone's expectations, let's take a closer look how Google Apps can help your professional services business take advantage of the cloud. Gmail is Google's world-class email client with over 30 gigabytes of storage per user. This is the cornerstone of our entire business. We use it here with over 50,000 employees on Google alone. Google Talk. It's real-time communication across text, audio, and video built right into your box at no extra cost. Calendaring is one of my favorite parts of working here at Google and using these tools. Everything you see is in real time. You do simple calendar overlays that are color-coded, and it automatically adjusts for different time zones if you're inviting someone else globally onto a meeting. Google Drive, a really simple and easy place to collaborate, edit, and create documents, spreadsheets, and slides. It's also internet content storage, so if you have documents you want to upload, this is a great place to store it. Google Sites is a website creation tool that does not involve IT. Essentially, it's your internal intranet that you can build for the entire company or department by department with very specific content pieces that relate to that organization. And then lastly, we have Google Vault. Google Vault serves as an add-on package to Google Apps. For the same cost, which is $5 a user per month or $50 a user per year, You can add this extra security layer, which automatically archives all of your outbound and inbound emails, as well as instant messages. It's a great tool. It works completely in the background of Google Apps. We've built Google Apps on this new computing model where we can access all this information on any type of device. Google Apps users can access their critical data from any mobile device with a web browser, including the Android, iPhone, BlackBerry, and even Windows phones. In addition, native apps for Gmail, Drive, and Docs are all available through the Android and Apple platforms. Google is investing heavily in optimizing these apps for both platforms to give the user the best experience no matter what device they choose. More than 5 million businesses, representing more than 50 million users, are already working in the future. This is just a small handful of some of our professional service customers. Over 5,000 businesses sign up every single day, and this allows them to focus on their core business and being more productive. Well, let's jump into the actual live demo of professional services with my friend and colleague, Corey.
Hi, my name's Gori, and for this session, I'll be taking you through a demonstration of the Google Apps suite. At Google, we believe that the future of work is on the web. In this demonstration, we will show you how 5 million businesses are already collaborating using Gmail, Calendar, and Drive. So let's jump straight in. I'm going to pretend that I'm a manager working for a professional services company called AltoStrat. We specialize in consulting, and you'll see that my corporate logo is in the top left-hand corner. Also, my email address still ends in @altostrat.com. not at gmail.com. And this is really important for my consulting business. All emails that get sent from my company need to look professional. In my company, the majority of my users are very technically savvy, and they can definitely send me a lot of emails every day. In fact, I get flooded with about 150 emails a day, and I find it pretty hard to see what's important. The beauty of Google's folders is that they allow me to visualize the relevance of emails. I've set up the filter so that if my boss Anna emails me, it'll automatically get that red priority folder attached to it, so I can visually see what's important and what I need to action straight away. But if I can see that I also have a lot of emails that are not red, I know that they're probably just from my friends and I don't need to action them. We also archive your emails instantly with Google Vault. This is in case you mistakenly delete something and then find out 3 years later that that email was actually really important and you need to get it back. Instead of that email being locked away in a PST file that you're never going to find again, it's still searchable in Vault. Now let's move on to Google Talk. Sometimes I have a quick question and I don't want to send an email and have to wait for someone to reply. So instead, I can look at instant messaging with Google Talk, which is built into my inbox on the side. I can see exactly who's online and available. They're the people who are in green. And I can ask them a quick question without having to send them an email and wait for them to reply. So I'm going to instant message my colleague Jonathan. And you can see here that I can ask him a quick question and get an answer straight away. I'm going to ask him if he's available for a video chat. Fantastic. So instead of having a conversation, even on instant messaging, we can have a face-to-face conversation right here. Hi Jonathan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm really well. I'm on a tight deadline. This is really important. It's for the audit project for the retail store. Would you be able to work with me on that spreadsheet if you have a few minutes?
Yes, absolutely. Let's jump in right now.
Fantastic. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, thank you.
So here at Altostrat, we've found that face-to-face communication is really, really important, especially when my team is on location with a client. Sometimes they're in other countries. So what we've actually started doing is holding our staff meetings via Hangout, even though the team is only 20 minutes apart. With Google Hangouts, like you just saw, you can video chat with up to 15 people. I can share a document or present slides to my peers, or I could even share my screen so they could literally see what I was doing on my computer. Because this is all 100% web, like Jonathan mentioned, I can use any device to do video chat or email, whether it's a Mac, a PC, a tablet, or a phone. If it has a browser, it will work. So let's show you a couple of things in Calendar before we move on to collaborating with Jonathan on that spreadsheet. So clicking on Calendar here, I can see my personal calendar is shown in the blue. The really powerful thing about Google Calendar is it allows me to see when other people are available as well. So I can simply click on another person's calendar and it will overlay their calendar on top of mine. So I can see Karen's calendar in the green and Charles's calendar in the yellow. Oh, whoa, I can see that Charles is super busy. So if the three of us are going to meet later today, I'll have to schedule it right here, where we've all got a gap in our calendars. I've created that meeting, and now I'm just going to add some resources to it. Just going to add some resources to this meeting and invite people to it as well. So there's Charles and Karen. You can see that I just have to type in a couple of letters and it's automatically finding that person within my contact directory. I can book in a room for us to meet in and any other resources that we need to share. They could be overhead projectors, cars or trucks, or anything else. I click Save, and it's asking me if I'd like to send those invitations to my guests. I'm clicking Yes. So even though I know that Charlie is constantly on the road, he'll still get that invite, and so will Karen. So now we'll move across to Google Drive and take a look at collaboration with documents. So before our company, Altostrat, moved to Google Apps, we'd end up with 15 different versions of a document attached to who knows how many different emails. So we're going to demonstrate how Google Drive can be used to collaborate on documents and provide transparency around our consulting activities. So this is Google Drive. This is where I can store all of my files in one place and have access to them from anywhere in the world. You can see that I have a lot of different document types here. There's presentations, text documents, PDFs. I could even store movies and MP3s over here as well. Basically anything. So I'm going to open up a document. Altostrat Retail Store Inventory. You can see that I have a google.com like search experience from within Google Drive. So I can find the documents that I'm looking for really quickly and easily. Okay, that's the document that I'm opening up. And here it is. I'm going to share this with Jonathan, who I was just video chatting with. And he can collaborate with me on this audit that we're putting together for one of our clients. So from these sharing settings, I can see exactly who has access to this document, and I can change their level of accessibility as well. So I can change Stephen's access to edit access rights, commenting access rights, or just downgrading him to being able to view the file. And if for whatever reason I have an employee and he's leaving my company, or I no longer trust him for whatever reason, all I have to do is hit that X and he's immediately removed from this document. So even if he's viewing that document this very minute, he would be removed from the document and he won't be able to see anything. It would just say, please request access from Gory. So now I'm done. I can see that I have one other viewer in this document as well, and that's my friend Jonathan Goldstein. So I can see his cursor's over here in the pink, and my cursor is over here in the blue. So you can see that both of us can actually work on this document at the same time without having to send multiple versions backwards and forwards via email or via any document management system. I can also have a chat to Jonathan and ask him any questions that I need to about the document all in one place. So since we're auditing these metrics, I might ask him, are the numbers for the drugstore correct? And instead of having to send that question via an email, Jonathan can look at it and check the numbers in the document right now. So again, we don't have to create multiple versions of this spreadsheet, version 1, version 2, version 3, final, draft. We can just edit the document and we know that we're always on the latest version. But something that we often get asked is, if so many people are editing this spreadsheet at the same time, how is it that you can maintain control of the document? So we've actually thought of that. With File and See Revision History, you can take a look at every revision of this document that was made. Notice that I didn't have to click File Save at any point in time. That's because every time anyone enters something into a cell, the document will automatically be saved. So I can see on the right-hand side who made changes to this document and when they made them. You can see that most of them were made over here by Jonathan and myself, and the changes were made today at 11:30. So maybe Jonathan actually made some incorrect changes here at 11:31. I can actually go back to the way the document looked like before he made those changes over here. I can preview what it looks like on the left-hand side and check, yes, these are the correct numbers that I'd like. And just clicking Restore this revision, it'll take the whole document back to that revision while still maintaining these other revisions there as well. So by clicking that, you'll see that it looks the same way that it looked when we first entered this document. So the colors changed back to blue when I had changed it to a light green a little bit earlier. So now what we're going to take a look at is a word processing document. Here's a document that I've been working on with some of my colleagues. I'm going to again share it with Jonathan. And in this document, this is a project summary of the audit that we've been doing. You can see in this word processing document, oh, there we go, Jonathan's jumped right in. And I'll actually be able to see each letter that Jonathan types as he's typing it. So this is what we call at Google real-time collaboration. So I can actually edit the document and Jonathan can edit the document at the same time. Again, we don't have to create multiple copies of the document or ask each other to send them backwards and forwards via email. You can see that I can also add in all of the things that you would expect to be able to add into a text document. So I've got images, tables, headings, and on top of that, I can also put comments on the right-hand side. So I can ask people to check figures and resolve them when they're done. If I need to take a look at all the comments that we've ever had in this document, I can scroll through them here and that history is maintained. So again, this is a very social way of being able to put this document together effectively as a team rather than as an individual. Finally, let's take a look at a presentation. At AltoStrat, we need to present professional-looking presentations to our clients all the time. So over here, you can see a presentation that I've put together from the audit which we did for a retail company. You can see that it's a very professional-looking presentation. There are images, videos, tables, charts, all of the things that I really need to present the summary of our report. Again, with all of the documents that you see here in Google Drive, you can always download them as Microsoft Office file formats like PPTX or a PDF document as well. With the spreadsheet that you saw a little bit earlier, you can also change that to a CSV file or an XLS file, and with the word processing document, you can download that as a .doc or a docx. So this concludes the demonstration. Just to review what we've shown you, Google Apps is an integrated suite of applications delivered to you via the web. It includes email, instant messaging, video chat, calendar, Drive, and much more. If you have any further questions or would like to see a more in-depth demo, please reach out to your Google rep. Thank you.